Well, welcome back everyone for part 2 of the countdown. Now, before we get this thing lighted up, I must preface this. If you've not watched part 1 yet, I highly recommend you do watch part 1 so you can get all cut up. Here, I'm going to give you a few seconds to go watch part 1 real quick and then come back here, so just pause the video. Now you're done. There you go. Now you're done with part 1. So, can you please play that intro and then followed by a transition, please? Listen, even if I can't be talking about Untitled on this list, I will still be talking about a Toby Fox creation on this list. And guess what? It qualifies for the list, so kabang! Since 3 out of the 5 chapters of Deltarune released right onto the Switch, that makes it qualified for this very list, which is good because I really want to talk about this game. There's so many fun elements of it. Unlike like Untitled, one of the main quirks of Deltarune is the bunch of lovable casts it has. There's so many different lovable casts on every chapter, makes it feel unique and different one after the other. With my top 2 being Susie, because Susie is the best emotionally and just comedy-wise. That's a double queen right there. And Tanner, who made his whole TV time personality, made chapter 3 just so much fun to play through, a nice relaxation chapter compared to everything else in the game. But in my opinion, out of everyone in the cast, I don't think there's a single one that I just hate. All of them are just good and lovable in their own unique ways. The story about the 3 heroes trying to save the day from the warring is very interesting and unique. It's intriguing. It keeps the players on their toes, especially since we know, as the player and the soul, we don't 100% know what Chris is doing behind our backs, calling people and who the knight really is. Only Chris knows, but we don't. That's a good mystery element of it. Plus, there's all the new gameplay styles that Toby added into Deltarune that include platforming and even, the most dangerous one of all, rock climbing. Another great thing about this game is outside the chapters, there are the secret boss fights that people can play as. Some of my favorites would be the Jester Jevil because of his hard ones, and it was the first secret boss fight. Another one would be the nice turtle, Gearson, who's just awesome to play against. All the sweet boss fights though are awesome and unique and different. Shout out to Spamton. Didn't have time to put him in, but Spamton, that was fun. That's not even talking about the weird route, which is just a whole can of worms we don't even know fully about. Just very dark and mysterious for a game that should be this dark and mysterious as Deltarune. One day, once all the chapters have been released, this game could be better than Undertale. However, since it's not completely done just yet, I can't put it any higher than 10. Trust me, I love this game and fully expect it to be one of my favorites of all time, but for now, it's gotta settle here. But it has so much potential to go even higher on this list one day, because I love everything about it so far. The first 5 chapters will peak, and hopefully the rest of them will also peak. Don't worry, Deltarune, you've given us many laughs and a great meme.
100 miles an hour, little do you know, I filled up on gas, I'm a kid, you're about to make an ass.
If only we knew where the great Papyrus was during this. One day we'll find out, hopefully. Don't worry, he could be the knight. Maybe. Most of the new Mario 2D platformers have been good, starting from the DS and up to the Wii U, but they feel just uninspiring, copy and pasted. Doesn't feel unique, it's not original, it's not what I would want out of a Mario platforming game. I mean, look what they call the Wii U version of a 2D Mario. Oh, it has a U in front of it. That means it's a different game now. Oh, that's how it works. So when they eventually announce a new one for the Switch, my hopes were not the highest for it at all. But using that mentality, I actually got surprised by how great and fun this game was. Unlike the other new 2D Mario games, you can play as more than 4 people. You can play as fan favorites like Daisy, Yoshi. Heck, if you get the Switch 2 version, you can play as Rosalina.
Fortunately, the levels of this game is thankfully not just in the normal Mushroom Kingdom, but instead a new kingdom called the Flower Kingdom, which is very different, very unique from the Wii U, the DS, and the Wii titles of the past. Even some of the new challenges that get the seeds feel unique and thankfully, like the Wonder Seeds, like musical-based challenges or time-based challenges or defeat an enemy in so amount of time challenges. That's what it needed to be different. And like all the past Mario games, there's a wide variety of power-ups to be used in the game. Like example, the classic but simple Fire Flower has been in almost every single game and should probably never ever be changed. But in order to freshen it up just a little bit, you need to add some new power-ups, and one of my personal favorites was the Drill power-up, which makes the player be able to go under the ground like Knuckles was, and this is one of my favorite new power-ups in the game.
And the Elephant power-up, which is something to witness. It's also a very big elephant in the room.
Haha!
Point of jokes aside for a bit, the Elephant power-up is pretty fun to use and makes things easy to destroy in a snap. It's not the best destroy-based power-up, that's the Mega Mushroom, but it's a very solid replacement for it. And in terms of the boss fights in this game, they're nice and unique and feel different. Like Bowser Jr. used to be just stomp on it, but now there's different mix-ups from it, and I like that about it. In general, Super Mario Bros. Wonder is a great change of pace for 2D Mario platforms that was desperately needed after the new Mario Bros. Series failed. It's great to play by yourself or in cover fence. Either way, it's a great change of pace and 2D Mario platforms go on up again.
Hopefully the next Mario game is just as good as this one. Whenever it comes out, should be any year now.
One of my favorite games on the 3DS would have to be the one and only Tomodachi Life collection, since there was so much whimsy and imagination involved. Putting all these random characters from video games, shows, movies, comic books, no matter what, I could make it in there.
For years, I would want another game in Tomodachi Life. I thought it was not going to happen. I was losing hope more and more. Every Nintendo Direct, I would watch and wait, and every time it didn't happen, I was sad.
My hope for a sequel or some sort of port was going down the drain. I felt like it was never going to happen. But then, on a random day in 2025, this finally dropped.
Tomodachi Life, living the dream.
Finally!
Living the Dream was everything I would ever want in a Tomodachi Life sequel, and it lived up to everything I was expecting.
Firstly, as in all the other Mii games, you can make whoever comes to your mind. But now, with the new drawing mechanic, you can make the Miis look at the best they ever had, even better than Miitopia.
They took everything from the Miitopia Mii Maker and upgraded to the maximum, even with the drawing feature making the best looking Miis ever, even as fast as Miitopia's Mii's Makers, and those were really great Miis. Plus, they also added in the making your own island element from Animal Crossing, but this game even did the Animal Crossing better than even Animal Crossing could dream.
Most of the things in the DS that people love, they're in this game. The fights the Miis have, they're here and they spout Cheeto dust.
The random love scenes, they go back as well, even better and even more random. Plus, they added LGBTQ representation, and there's new fun mini games, but some from the original that were ported over to the Switch. So you like bowling or coin flipping or heck, even quizzes. And the dreams are just as wacky as they were on the DS. So anyway, this game could be improved. It was improved on.
Plus, the new cutscenes made love this game even more. Be it some simple hand holding or seeing a Mii in the sky.
On both parts of the list, this is the newest game to make the cut, which means it could get even higher with later updates or DLC added in.
Some features were sadly removed from the game, like the concert hall. Rest in peace. We still think about you every day, and that's why it could never be higher than number 8.
Another bad thing about this game, sadly, is that instead of the baby taking like a week to ways, it just gets ways in a short cutscene. That's just a bummer because it was, not that hard to just make it the same as it was on the DS. So, yeah, that kind of sucked and bumped down a few placements because that was really fun, actually. But Living the Dream is everything I would want in a Tomodachi Life sequel, and it's a must-get for the Switch console. Be it 1 or 2, you need to get this game. Now, if you excuse me, I think I'll make Jason Voorhees a couple with the one and only Hatsune Miku. I mean, those two would be a great match to each other. They just match his personalities so well.
Recently for Nintendo, there haven't been that many new franchises that they made by themselves. Either some of them are, with help from any studios or just not successful franchise at all.
I mean, Ours could have been something, but it just didn't have the factor to be a mainstay Nintendo game for years to come, so that's why it flopped and born. But thankfully, there's been one successful new IP, and that popular new successful franchise would just have to be Splatoon for its wacky gameplay, the great soundtrack, and the nice combat and online features it requires.
This, however, was not even a contest. Splatoon 2 is a good game. This was an upgraded version in every possible way.
So to start things off, in this game, the combat abilities are on an all-time high for the whole series, feeling the best they ever played for, with different weapons, new special attacks, and great level design as well.
The boss fights in this game, they have finally reached the peak of all Splatoon boss fights. The final boss in most games, in this game, it's the first boss, to show you how much different and unique the boss fights are in this game compared to all the other ones in the series.
This game feels like a celebration of the young series of Splatoon, the trilogy coming to an end. It brings back all the great things from the past. The Squizzers have come back better than ever with the past hero of the last game, Splatoon 2, which is a nice addition. Plus, a new twist would be this. Instead of, fighting DJ Octavio again, you actually help and work with DJ Octavio to prove that he's actually on the good guy's side for once instead of the bad guy's side. It's a nice change of pace. Plus, they have to work together to defeat the new big bad in town. Each level in Splatoon 3 feels unique and different from the last. They all have to involve you using your brain to get out of tricky situations, and that's very satisfying to do in a game.
Online in this game is as good as it's ever been for Splatoon, but in story mode, you must take off the scariest of all the animals, the bears.
What'd I do that time?
I don't know. I guess he just doesn't like you.
Pretend to be somebody else.
Here, draw a circle.
Okay.
That wasn't over.
Well, I'm out of all my SpongeBob clips, all 2 of them I've used.
Splatoon is the correct way to make a new popular series of games, and the third one is a climax of all those elements that make Splatoon just a special type of game. There's a fun and wacky different types of characters from the past games and the new games to make such a great package, and then there's a story that actually matters and has stakes to it, unlike a lot of other Nintendo Switch games. And can't be forgetting about the amazing soundtrack that every game has, but Splatoon 3 has the best soundtrack of the whole bunch. That right there. That is why it's special to me and a bunch of other Switch players, and it's a must get to any Switch game. 2 or 3, but definitely get 3.
Most games of this, or the plays I've given it, will be on the top of the list. But this game, it doesn't even crack the top 5. That's how many good games are on the Switch. But hey, it's still a great game and the best one in the franchise by far.
Hopefully the future Splatoon games are just as great and special as this one was, but I see high hopes for Splatoon as a whole as a franchise.
Next game I'll be talking about is one of the most lovable Nintendo franchise. Mysterious Man, please throw me the mascot. No, definitely not you. Okay, let's try this again. The lovable Nintendo Banjo. I mean, you won from Nintendo, but you're not anymore, so you go get. Okay, you got one last chance to just quit. That's exactly who we're talking about right there.
That's right, you know well. It's the name you should know. Kobe. He is the one, but I refuse to sing the whole theme song of the show because that would take way too long. We do not want to hear that, okay? Okay. But the game right here is one of the best in this whole entire series, and that would be The Forgotten Land, with so much new features that I cannot wait to talk about.
Of course, we've got one-of-the-mill normal cop abilities, your fire and your sword, but now, Kirby, he can eat almost anything that comes to his mind.
Which includes such things as a car, so now Kirby has the ability to commit a hit and run without getting any blood on his hands, so that's a nice addition. He can also turn into the most dangerous things. I think that has more kills than shock attacks here, vending machines. And trust me, despite not being able to fall over, they will get you some cold, hard drinks to kill ya. This shows how powerful Kirby has become. This game both looks amazing and plays amazing. The levels are the best they have ever been in a Kirby series, at least in my opinion, because of how much fun and different it is. The snow level, desert level, there's all bunch of uniqueness.
The boss fights in the game are even better than they were before, having to use your mind and solve puzzles to solve them. Plus, one of the best Nintendo Kings has returned, baby!
I need a monster to claw with that there Kirby!
Yeah, that's correct. The King is back. King Dedede and his new design, in my opinion, is the best boss fight King Dedede's ever had, and the best boss fight in the whole game, at least in my opinion, because it's so much fun to play with, and it's very challenging, at least the first time around. Rather than the best new feature, even better than the car swallowing mechanic, is upgrading capabilities to be the strongest they've ever been in a Kirby game, which is very nice. Upgrading hammers, crash, even fire. I really can't wait for the next Kirby. No, mainline game. Sorry, Elias, it's just a spin-off game, so you don't get up for it. I'm talking about the next mainline game, so not you, okay? This game is just amazing for the Switch. It's one of the best Kirby games there's ever been. It's my favorite, and Kirby's as adorable as ever. This is everything a Kirby game should and want to be in the future, even though it didn't get the top 5, sadly.
Man, I love this game so much, but it couldn't even crack the top 5. Don't worry though, guy. I love a game that can be played every time we can. But for the next game, can we get like a Meta Knight game? No, that's just a dreamland I have. Here we are, the cream of the crop, the top of the top. Some of the best games, not even the Switch, for all time in my opinion.
There's still a bunch of Nintendo-based franchises we've not seen on this list yet. Thankfully, that is about to change with our next topic, which is...
The answer is A. Jigglypuff seen from above.
Since Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu suck, that means there's only 2 options. Is it going to be Sword and Shield, or is it going to be the newest mainline game, Scarlet and Violet?
Sadly, I'm not a big fan of the Legend series, so out of the 2, Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet, I gotta go with my color names.
Now, out of Scarlet and Violet, I only played Violet, but they both count for this list since they are one and the same minus the name change and a few other changes. Firstly, this being the first ever open world mainline Pokemon game helps do whatever you want in the game. You can take things on in whatever order you want. You do gyms, tie-ins, or even the evil team first. Plus, the gyms in this game are actually pretty challenging, and they have some of the most unique designs in the whole series. And then, of course, once you beat the gyms, you gotta become champion, and the champion's a slight pushover, but still a fun challenge at least.
Plus, the twist of the gym, they're not using the main special ability type, and instead showing off the new gimmick, that being tetralization, is very unique and different.
This is the best Pokemon story since Black and White, in my opinion. All 3 rivals feel unique and different from each other, thankfully, not just the same, I wanna fight you all the time. The evil team aren't really evil, which has been a downside for, but in this game it's different because they all feel fleshed out and expand on why they choose the path of being an evil team. And at the end, they become the good guys instead of just, staying evil and doing bully stuff. That's a nice change of direction.
There's also the big bad time Pokemon to defeat that could be very scary because of the size. But with the help of our friend Alvin, it's no big deal.
Alvin is a great kiddo because at first he seems like just a normal jock bully kiddo, but then we realize we truly up his doggo, and I respect that. Who wouldn't want to have their own dog from dying? That is nice dedication right there, and he's become one of my favorite Pokemon trainers in the whole series.
Plus, the new Pokédex is full of a bunch of different Pokemon that are brand new, and it becomes some of my favorite in this whole series.
There's an illusion of Primate. There's a freaking flamingo in this game, just a flamingo. There's a bug that likes to fight people, who has to throw hands against anyone. And then, of course, one of my personal favorites of the generation, a Pokemon with a giant-ass hammer. I mean, who wouldn't love that? Hopefully, Winds and Waves will be just as great as Pokemon Scarlet and Violet were. But Pokemon Scarlet and Violet shall always be a star of the Pokemon series, at least to me, and probably one of my top 3 favorite Pokemon games in general.
Please let the new stars be unique typings. Or we could have the full fire fighting typing again. You remember in part 1 when I pushed the dancing monkey lizard away? Well, this time I summoned them to return because I'm using them again, baby!
Now, the question is, which of the 3 mainline games will I be talking about on this day? Well, you see, that's the thing. All 3 of them release all at once on Switch in a package. So I guess that means I have to talk about all 3 of them. But I don't make the rules. I'm just following what the game says, and it comes in all 3.
Hey, I got the case right here. It has all 3 games, so it's qualified for all of them to be on the list.
Here's a quick mini ranking of all the games. My favorite was the first one, Trigger Happy Havoc by a mile. The second best was, of course, the third game, Killing Harmony. And then my least favorite of all three games would be Goodbye Despair, the second one. But that's off topic. Let's get back on talking about these three games are great. Out of all the mini characters in all three Danganronpa games, I like and love most of them, either on both sides of the coin they have. You see, there's a comedy side and a dramatic real side to characters. As you can see, characters are just fun and lots of laughs that are very much enjoyed in a very seriously type game. And then there's the other side, the serious and developed characters that go through an arc of sorts and are meant to be the main characters of the game, which I also greatly appreciate. Despite a few characters that I just don't like or hate, because not all of them can be great.
Now, of course, there are the class trials and executions that make this game unique and special. However, I promise not to spoil anything on that, and I will promise to keep my word on that once again.
Despite at times being a very silly game, Danganronpa can actually be very relatable at certain points because of the backstories of each of the characters, which could be closely related to incidents that happen in our everyday life that we don't know about, which makes Danganronpa feel even more surreal and real to people. If you look at a character in this game and they kick the bucket, then you're going to feel their absence. If you like them, that's going to be really bad, but hey, if you don't like them, that makes the game better for you at least.
When figuring out who did the killing in Clash Royale, it feels very satisfying, like putting the pieces together in the puzzle correctly. And then you realize something. Oh no! I like that person, now they're gonna die!
Because of the zany cast of characters that can be fun or serious at times, and they are some of the best I've ever seen in gaming, the cast really elevates this game to the point where I love it so much. The different class trials in every game makes it fun and keeps switching at a pace, but I can't spoil anything, so I'm similar to that, but it's very fun. A bunch of unique modes in every game, be it, a simple disease that alters your personality, to a whole stack load of money, baby, you better get that cash now! These are just three amazing games piled together onto the Switch, and it works out amazing when I play three of them in succession. These are great mystery games to play, and it's one of my favorites of all time.
And if 2x2 coming out next year, maybe Goodbye Despair will be even better and grander than before. Welcome back to everyone's favorite game show, the Top 3! Now today, we're going to see who just made the podium and gained the bronze medal. This right here, it's big.
Way back when the Switch 2 was first announced, I wasn't sure I was going to get one because nothing was that promising to my eyes. And then I saw Donkey Kong Bonanza and everything went out the window. My plans were changed. Just like the Prince of Sleeping Beauty, I jumped out the window right to Donkey Kong Bonanza.
How about we start off this being the first main DK game, 12 years? Jeez, took him long enough to come back.
But what a great way to make a comeback. With Pauline now inside, things will about change for DK for the better. The levels have not felt this good in DK game in a long time. Having to do different challenges to give an answer feels so unique and keeps the game changing on its toes. It could be a puzzle, it could be climbing a wall, it could be different types of anything. Having to destroy a land for gold feels very hard-hitting and satisfying. You feel every punch, and that's a joy just destroying it all for the money. Boss fights in this game feel amazing. Sometimes you can be facing off against another fellow Kong who builds something giant and you gotta destroy it piece by piece. Or sometimes it's gonna be a weird bad thing in the sky flying around and you gotta punch it when it's on the ground by throwing stuff at it.
Now the song thanks to Pauline over here, DK can become different animals.
Only cons in this game, there's a wide variety of animals ranging from ostriches, zebras, snakes, and elephants. And guess what? DK, he can become all of them, and that's about it, just all 5 of those. If you want to run around super duper fast, well then just become a zebra, then boom, you can run on water and ice yourself without falling down. That's a big thing to do because you gotta go fast. If you want to have a double jump finally and be able to jump super high in the sky, don't worry, there's power for that as well. Becoming a snake will do that. Instead of jumping and you want to take to the skies and fly, don't worry, you can do that too if you turn into an ostrich and you can fly in the sky and get extra boost of momentum. And if you want to become an elephant, you could just use the power from Mario Wonder, but no! Become the elephant you always wanted to be, DK! You always want to be an elephant at your heart, and now with DK, you can finally become a real-life elephant who's super strong.
This is like a return for the battle for DK. Heck, even Diddy Kong came back, but only with Dixie. We have no idea what happened to the rest of the game. What happened to Chunky is truly a mystery.
And then there's Chunky! He's dead. Chunky's dead!
In my opinion, this game right here was the one to make a Switch 2 the must-have console and has set the bar for every other Switch 2 game. It also has one of the best final boss fights in the Switch's whole catalog, 1 or 2. And it has the return of a different type of king, who is not DDD. I think you should know the name quite well if you're a fan of Donkey Kong series.
That could be a spoiler, but come on, we all know who the king of DK is.
For bringing back a video game legend, for all the new fun abilities to play with, and just an amazing game overall for fun boss fights, different level designs, different challenges to get bananas, and so many bananas to collect. This game belongs in the top 3 Switch games overall.
Let's begin the stopwatch to see how long it takes for DK to get a new game after this one. It starts now.
This game we'll be talking about was so close to taking that top spot, but it couldn't reach the top spot. But it's still a lovely, fantastic game all the way through. It was a very close race between this game and number 1, but the other game won out. So let's talk about number 2 and why it was such a damn great game.
But hey, at least everyone is here.
Alright, I'm gonna start by saying this. I like World of Light. It's unique and different from everything else.
For me, another subspace, I would have loved that. But Sakurai always worked hard enough in this game. I understand he didn't want as many cutscenes in the story mode, and for me, the game worked well with it.
Because of the skill tree you use, that adds another element to World of Light, making more of a strategy thing in Smash Bros. Which is a platform file. Plus, all the unique fights that happen because of the spirits adding extra requirements to the fight may feel different enough, and its unique own little tiny story. Plus, the tons of boss fights make it feel like an actual story mode. In Brawl and Subspace, they are more like original creations for story mode. But in this game, they're from video game different series, which I love. And then there's the new and improved classic mode in this game. Feels the best it has ever been, with different fights and routes for every character in the game, which is awfully unique enough. Plus, the boss fights in classic mode are changeable to every single character. A very much neat addition, so you just fight a bunch of hands 100 times. Like, I love Master Hand, but I don't want to fight him every single time. I mean, when I first played classic mode, the surprise I had when I was facing Marks at first was shocking, but it was very welcoming to me.
To show how ultimate this was, fan favorites returned. Making your own stage came back. Heck, the Mii's came back. Hell, even Tournament mode was added in here as a great addition to see who gets the most hell being out of them.
But the most shining and what makes this game special for Smash Bros. Ultimate was the roster. Every time there was a reveal trailer, you never knew it was going to be. It could be anyone from any game ever. It could have been from Microsoft, from PlayStation, from Nintendo, from Kirby. It was just heart-pounding. Every reveal felt like it meant something. All these characters belong here because it's just a whole era of Nintendo. However, my man Waluigi was sadly, once again, stuck as an trophy. Why can't Waluigi never win anything? He just wants to play Smash Bros, but he's always left out. But still, the roster is really good, despite the fact there is no playable Waluigi.
This character roster is just the definition of hype. Bringing back everyone from every game is a challenge, but Sakurai, he somehow did that, madman.
It means every era of Smash, from Melee to Brawl, from Smash 4, was in this game. And every person who's ever played a previous Smash game had a chance to pick up this game again and play with a fair past character. It could be Wolf, it could be Mewtwo, it could be Roy, it could be Chrom, it could be Toon Link, it could be Young Link, but they could play them again. Even including Pichu.
Despite being a few years now, the Minecraft Steve still broke Twitter. Somehow this guy broke Twitter. Smash Bros. Broke Twitter. That is still hilarious to this day.
Smash Bros. Ultimate is without doubt the best Smash game. There was a fun story mode pack in there with a bunch of cutscenes, fun-filled, action-packed fights between 4 players and more, possibly 8 players. And of course, you can't forget everybody's favorite game that they played, Squad Strike, which is everything people would want. At one point, this could have been easily number 1, but something beat by a hail. But still, this is a great Smash game.
And now, with that way, it shall be. Wait, we have honorable mentions to do. Play that transition one more time for number 1, and let's go rapid fire.
Untitled, one of my favorite games of all time because of the story and the unique gameplay, but couldn't make the list because of the rules. If it did, it'd be on the top half of the list for sure. Fire Emblem Three Houses. As said in part 1, I am in the middle of playing. I've enjoyed every second of it. I think it's a great Fire Emblem game, but I have not finished it, so did not qualify for this. It'll probably be semi-high, higher than Engage, but for now, it just can't be on the list. Return to Dreamland Deluxe. This is one of the best comedy games out there, but in my opinion, Forgotten Land just narrowly beat it. It's very close, but I just prefer Forgotten Land more than Return to Dreamland. Crash Bandicoot 4 just barely missed the cut because of the month rule. It didn't come out after a month, so it didn't qualify. But it's a very great platform, but very challenging as well. So it's two sides of the same coin. So just barely missed it because of the month rule. Wario Move It, a good success with smooth moves for the Wii, but definitely not the same as feel as funness as Get Together. So because Get Together destroys it, it did not qualify for the list.
Alright, I think I covered all of them. Now we get into the real number 1.
Colors weave into a spire of flame. Distant sparks call to a past still unnamed. Bear this torch against the cold of the night. Search your soul and reawaken the undying light.
During this whole countdown, we have talked about a lot of different types of games. So many great games that I've talked about on this countdown, and I'm truly thankful for that because this is my first ever countdown. I think it's been a great success so far. But only one game here can take the number 1 spot, the top of this whole top 20 list. Smash Bros. Almost had the top spot, but in the end, only one game was able to throw it and take its spot on top of the top 20 Switch games list.
So I guess without further ado, let's go.
This game right here, it's special to me. This was the first Mario game that was 3D that I fully completed and played through, and it was the best, well, one of the best gaming experiences I have ever had in my life. Even begin with this game? Well, let's start with the negatives. There is no DLC in this game, which is a bummer. And that's it, because there's so much damn good content in this game. From start to finish, it's just a joyride.
This game could be considered having the best soundtrack in the whole series. The music is just hit after hit after hit. From the soundtrack alone, it's non-stop great music.
The kingdoms in this game, they are also fresh and unique and different than normal Mario games, and that should be the standard of level design in these games. I mean, they're all your, basic ones, like your snow levels that everyone's been through before. Everyone's been through a snow level, it's all cold and icy. The sand level that is rough, coarse, and it gets everywhere. Like, Mario's shoes must be so sandy after that, because it gets everywhere. And we can forget the iconic Mario Dragon. That's why an actual dragon comes into the game. That's one of the best moments in a great game. These games' boss fights feel also different from one another. Some require your mind, some just bam bam, get them out of here, and some require different capture spells. They all mix it up and don't feel the same boss over and over again.
Plus, with the addition of Cappy into the crew, taking over some of his body and using them and playing as them is just a great concept. One of my favorite Mario's whole history.
This game is a celebration of Mario's whole history. This is my favorite Mario game of all time, and one of my favorite video games ever. There are so many different reasons I can't even mention in this content because they make it even longer than it already is. You can't even count on 2 hands how many different ways there are to get moons. There are so many different ways. Some involve puzzle solving and using your mind, while some you just need to go outside and look up at the moon for a few seconds and then it'll appear randomly, which is kind of annoying if you don't know what you're doing at first, but eventually you'll get the moon after a few hours.
It's the goddamn moon! Look up at the sky for 5 seconds and then 50,000 miles away you will see a taxi. That's where the moon is. What? Are you fucking kidding me?
Great job! Only 5 million more moons to go.
Plus, the story, it's simple. It's Mario, of course it will be simple. But Mario's more expensive than ever in this game.
From the start of the game, of becoming a gosh dang dinosaur and destroying everything around you with head moves and slashing things around, to the end of the game, when you finally take over being Bowser, this game is a blast and a great framework of what a 3D Mario game should and always should be at the end of the day. There is so much content in this game, it doesn't even need DLC to make it work. That's how great it is. I barely even said anything about Pauline's comeback and becoming an important Mario character again because of this game. This is the comeback of Pauline, and it felt so satisfying to see her after like 30 years. Mario Odyssey is some of the best moments I've ever had in gaming in general, and I am thankful for that because it showed what the Switch could be with great games like this one as the shareholder and the leader. It's an amazing platformer through and through, has a plentiful amount of bosses to fight, and has some of the best music in the whole series. It's a celebration of the series, in my opinion, the best game there is on the Nintendo Switch 1 and 2 combined, and that title will be tough to take away from it for a long time. Thanks Mario Odyssey for being an amazing time, one of the greatest games I ever played, and the best Switch game.
I have been LightingTale, and thank you for watching through the 2 parts of this character. It has meant a lot to me, especially since I never thought I'd be doing this, and now you know how much this console has meant to me in the long run. That out of the way, no more 2 parts for a while at least, okay? That was a big video. And moving on, our next topic shall be boss fights. But I'm not going to tell you if it's the first boss fight, the final boss fight, or somewhere in that weird middle. Until then, I'll tell you when we get closer to release date in 2 weeks. And just until then, don't forget to be electric. Steve, get out of here!